Hey everybody. Once again, I am Marie with Aunt Ree's Quilt Shop. This is week 5. This is the last week of our Prairie Flower Sew Along. Hopefully that you have enjoyed it and been sewing along with us. If you have not, if you've missed any of the videos, you can go back and watch them. This is what we've been doing for the month of September. And so, we've just been having a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. It was just a quick and easy project. Sometimes we need some of those. I get so bogged down with everything else and doing more difficult projects. Sometimes it's nice to just do something a little bit easier and relaxing. We are using for this project the Quilter's 10-inch pre-cut companion from Jenny Doan at Missouri Star. This is the quilt here that we did. And so, page 35. I have not given specifics on sizes to cut, things like that, because this is copyrighted material. You do need the book to follow along, but I did give you some tips and tricks and kind of break it up into bite-sized pieces along the way throughout the month. So hopefully some of that information has been helpful to you, not only for this project, but for other projects too. Try to learn something new with each project that you do so that the next one is just that much easier and you can kind of start stepping outside of your box more and more, outside of your comfort zone. So page 35 is where we have been working from in this book. This is the actual individual block. And then I'll show you. So this is a couple of examples of the quilt put together. The size that I did is the one that's recommended in the book. It does tell you in the front how to adjust your sizing. This one used 1 layer cake and you ended up with 20 different blocks. So, and I've already got mine put together. It's ready to go on the quilter. Because there's 20 blocks, it's 4 across and 5 down with your sashing and your cornerstones, and then 2 borders outside of that. Now, let me make sure I've got this going the right way. Okay. So, like we talked about last week, last week we cut our sashing pieces and our cornerstones, and then our 2 borders. So I kind of explained last week that you were only going to put the sashing pieces between the blocks, not on the above and not on the outside if you're on the edge, because this is one solid piece all the way across and there's no cornerstones or anything. It's just one piece. It becomes your inner border. So the pieces that we had cut that were this size only go between your blocks. And what I recommend is lay it out either on a design wall, a bed, a floor, wherever. Take a picture so you remember what your layout was that you liked, and sew them together in rows. So you have a block, a piece of sashing, a block, a piece of sashing. That's one row. Then what I would do is that for the next row, a piece of sashing, a cornerstone, a piece of sashing here, and another cornerstone. That way you have this as one bigger row. This is a small row. Same thing here. Sew it together in rows after you've laid it out. When you press these, you're going to want to press one row going one direction and this going the opposite direction. Because that way, as I showed you before on the previous, I think it was 2 weeks ago, how to lock your seams together, these corners are going to come together much easier if you can lock your seams together. And again, you can pin it. I do it by feel. It's totally up to you however you want to do it. Okay, so this is kind of, show you the best I can. I'll post a picture later. So here is mine. Obviously it's bigger than this. It ends up being, let me double check these dimensions, 74 by about 90 or 89.5. So it's a good size quilt. It's a good throw. It may even fit on a full-size bed. I have not checked that. But if you wanted to, you could even add another border or something if you wanted just a little bit bigger to fit on a bed. That's totally up to you. Once again, if you have any questions, need to adjust anything, want somebody to double check your math, you're totally welcome to reach out to me. auntreesquiltshop@gmail.com. My website's auntreesquiltshop.com. Facebook, Instagram, here on YouTube, wherever you want to reach out to me, just shoot me a message and I will get back to you and try to work you through whatever issue. If you're having problems, if you're stuck on something, don't understand something, whatever, let me know and we'll get you over the hump and get you going again. This has been really, really a lot of fun for me. So I am going to put mine on the long arm and get it quilted that way. You don't have to. If you want to try to quilt it yourself, you're more than welcome to do that. A good way to do that would be to accentuate these pieces here. Probably what I would do is using your walking foot. You can do in the ditch. I probably wouldn't. I would do either side of that seam, that ditch is what they call it. And I would probably go down here and back up here and just kind of outline these blocks. You can also do it on the inside if you wanted to, or you can just go around. You can even do just 1/4 inch inside and make these flower pieces stand out. It's totally up to you how you want to quilt it. You know, you can try to do it. You can do it on your domestic machine, have somebody do it for you, hand quilt it, whatever you wanted to do. But I'm looking forward to getting mine on the machine. I found my backing the other day, and so I'm gonna go load it on the machine and get it quilted. Once you're finished with the quilting and you're ready to bind, we talked about it a little bit last week when we talked about cutting our sashing and our cornerstones and all that kind of stuff. I have not actually cut my binding yet. I'm estimating it's going to take about 9 strips because the borders were about 9 strips, maybe 10. Do your binding the way you want to do it. I cut mine 2.5, some do 2 1/4, to cut it on the bias, cut just with the fabric, however you want to do it. I tend to cut mine with the fabric and then at 2.5 inches, fold it in half, stitch all of them together. I do like to miter my corners. And so there's lots of videos and things out there, and maybe I'll shoot an extra video and show you how to do that. And so it just, especially on binding, it reduces the bulk a little bit. So basically what you're doing, I'll show you real quick on here. So you got 1 strip going down and 1 strip going across like this. Now you can draw it on here from corner to corner because you can see where these meet up here down to this corner here. You can either draw it on here, fold it over and press it maybe, or if you saw my tape trick a few weeks ago when we were piecing the individual pieces, the individual smaller pieces for the blocks, my piece of tape would work really, really well for this. Just line one corner up with the needle, the other corner up with the edge of the tape, and feed it through. What you're going to do is you're going to have this seam here. This is going to get cut off 1/4 inch away from that seam, and then this is going to fold up. So, and then you have that nice diagonal there, and when you fold it over and you stitch it on and you're doing your binding, that makes a world of difference. Again, there's lots of videos out there, and maybe I'll shoot a little bit more in-depth video one day when I get a chance. So that is what I have for y'all. Again, if you want to catch up with this, you can go back and watch the videos. This is the book. I do have some in the shop still available. And this is a great, great deal. $10 for basically 20 patterns. That doesn't happen. So, there's a lot of really cute ones in here. Like there's a sailboat. There's just a ton of, there's a starburst quilt. Those have been really, really popular lately. And they're just half square triangles. A lot of these are just half square triangles. See? So this has a lot of good tips and tricks, that kind of fun stuff. So this is just a really good buy. I think that's all that I have for y'all this week. Again, if you have any issues, we're just putting the final quilt together, the final assembly on the quilt top. That's kind of what we're doing to wrap this up. Next week, I am going to start talking about organizing your sewing room. Different ways to organize your everything from fabrics to your rulers and your templates, your cutting tools, your marking tools, your, you name it, we're probably going to cover it in one form or another. So that's going to, I'm just going to kind of, I need to redo my sewing room. I'm going to walk y'all through me reorganizing my sewing room and show you some different ways, the ways that I do it. If you have a favorite way that you store a certain thing, shoot me a message and let me know, because what works for me doesn't necessarily work for you, and what works for us may not work for somebody else. There's infinite ways to do things, and so everybody has their own way. I've actually tried multiple ways. I don't have a favorite way, especially with my fabric. I have certain things that I like. I have not found the ideal way to sort and store and that kind of stuff for my personal fabrics. And so we're just going to work through all this together and just try to give y'all some different things to think about, ways to do things, and all that kind of fun stuff. So I hope y'all have had a great week. Y'all have a great weekend. I love you guys. Again, hit like, subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends. I'm trying to build the channel up, so the more y'all can help me out, the better, and the more I'm able to do for all of you. So y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.